Who left this monolith here? In 2020, a strange 10-foot metal column was spotted from a helicopter that was out counting bighorn sheep. The crew stopped to investigate and discovered an alien 3-sided metal object. They were shocked because this area was very rocky with many canyons, and it's a tough place to get to. They released a few photos of their findings, but kept the location hidden. However, some internet investigators used these photos alongside Google Earth to find the exact location, and then word got out. No one knows how it got here, and there was speculation online that it had extraterrestrial origins. A flood of people hiked out to it, and eventually a group of 4 men were seen destroying it. As they walked off, a hiker heard them say, "Leave no trace." So what do you think?
It's a mysterious and reflective monolith. It was spotted in a hiking trail over the weekend.
So what's the story?
There's been a bunch of these. So the police, actually, Vegas police posted those pictures. A volunteer search team went out to it in a remote area and confirmed that it's just this like 10-foot standing monolith.
Wow.
A guy named Craig Muir found it. The same exact thing in Wales, literally in the middle of nowhere.
How interesting.
Craig Muir is a stonemason by trade, and he said when he examined it, it was surgical steel.
That's so
like the best craftsmanship you could imagine. So for those conspiracy theorists who think maybe this is aliens, they're very handy.
Stonehenge.
So I don't know if you guys have a theory on
I
it.
think someone's punking us. I think someone's sneaking around and placing these things.
Well, clearly, what else would it be? An alien?
Well, people think it's a portal. Why is that so?
That is a popular theory.
Someone's got to put it there.
No, maybe. There are a lot of folks on the internet.
Oh, well, come on.
All right. I guess this is the thing now, right? So, be prepared to see these everywhere. Down here.
Mystery monolith shows up in the upper valley. Our photographer caught this video of the structure earlier tonight. Similar monoliths have shown up at various sites. The first one that sparked the craze was in Utah. It disappeared as mysteriously as it appeared. The one in El Paso remains for now.
A mysterious monolith has appeared on Fremont Street. The object is currently standing under the Fremont Street Experience campus. You can take pictures of it. A spokesperson says their team first noticed the monolith this morning, and they didn't say how it got there. Another similar monolith was recently discovered in a remote area of Utah. Other monoliths have been popping up around the world since then.
A monolith like the one seen mysteriously showing up all over the world has naturally showed up on the Treasure Coast. Take a look now. This showed up outside Pierce Cider in Fort Pierce. A bartender found the piece yesterday morning. The Pierce Cider tells News Channel 5 that they're looking into surveillance video, but the camera apparently experienced some kind of interference, so they may never really get an answer. Now we wait to see when and if it disappeared.
People around the world have become fascinated with mysterious monoliths popping up in random places. First, it was a remote part of Utah, then in Romania, and another in a California park, and now right here in Pittsburgh. That's right, there's a monolith outside of Grandpa Joe's candy shop in the Strip District. On the shop's Facebook page, they say it just mysteriously appeared the other day. So what exactly is a monolith? Well, it's simpler than it sounds. It's just a single large stone or metal, usually in the form of a column.
A new metallic monolith recently appeared near Las Vegas, with a local woman claiming to have witnessed its arrival. This follows a global trend that began in late 2020, where similar monoliths emerged in various locations such as Utah, Romania and California, sparking speculation about their origins, from alien artifacts to elaborate pranks or art installations. The latest monolith, found near Gas Peak in Nevada's Desert National Wildlife Refuge, was reported by the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, who noted its metallic construction and the lack of known creators. Despite a surge in interest and numerous monolith sightings worldwide, many of these mysterious structures, including the one in Utah, have vanished as mysteriously as they appeared.
Remember that mysterious monolith that appeared in Australia a couple days ago? Well, someone's finally decoded it. A lot of people have suggested that it was related to an anime called One Piece, or a reference to the villain from this short story, but the real answer is even weirder. A cryptography student decided to draw all of these symbols out. At first, it kind of just looks like gibberish, but if you line up all of these bars, you start to see some symbols repeat themselves, and that's a good indication that these symbols are code for something in English. The student then assigned all the symbols a letter and put it into a cryptogram solver. Went through all 47 combinations for this group of letters, and immediately you start seeing that these symbols most likely represent numbers. And sure enough, if you try to match each group of letters to a certain number, you end up with this. What it leads to or who put it there is still a mystery.
Just feel like a mistake. No, I've never seen this before. Always looks like UFOs, look at something, guys. Walked up the bottom left and found this. Looks like an alien there. There's looks pretty cool.
So Megan and I and Georgie, we're all walking up the Bachelor Range in Kamloops, BC, when we came upon this. It is so hilarious and random. Look at this. The Monoliths. There's been a truck parked up here for about the last week at nighttime with headlights shining. I think we know why there's a monolith here. It's kind of cool. Random. And look at the sun. Can't ask for a better shot right there. So cool. As long as I don't get beamed up, Scotty, we're good. Anyways, Kamloops Monolith, I guess. 2020, baby.
Acesta este monolitul de pe crucea Doamnei de la cetate. De fapt, monolitul este o tablă obosită pusă de cineva.
Desert, but now the latest metallic monolith to appear has been using residents in the Democratic Republic of Congo's capital, Kinshasa. The structure appears in the Bangalore community. Some take selfies with it, and others make a negative reaction. Late last year, a monolith was discovered in the United States, generating much excitement among science fiction fans who likened it to Stanley Kubrick's 1968 film 2001: A Space Odyssey. Since then, others have emerged. One at a World Heritage Site in Turkey earlier this month, for example, another in a mountainous area of Romania last December. One fan of the DRC's arrival is the mayor of Bangalore. He described the monolith as cultural and extraordinary. He said it was located in a part of town where they were already planning improvement works.
At noon, there's a mysterious metal monolith that just showed up in Fayetteville. It's in, here it is. I want to look at this myself. It's in some mulch here on Hay Street, right there in downtown. Not quite as tall, but it looks kind of similar to the monoliths that have been popping up around the country in the past few weeks. So far, no one taking any credit for putting this one in Fayetteville.
This is the first time that I've seen anything. Like, she woke me up this morning, like, there's aliens in Fayetteville, sent me all these articles online, and apparently this is happening in other places. Like, apparently this is happening, like, all over the world, and it's, like, an actual thing. So I don't know if it's supernatural, if it's a group of people doing this, what it's supposed to mean, but I think it's cool.
Well, it is at that. You remember this one, though, the first monolith spotted out in the desert in Utah a couple weeks ago. I don't know what you think about this Fayetteville one, Liz.
I mean, that one's much smaller, but I'd be interested to see where they're all coming from. It kind of reminds me of Banksy. You know, he puts up a piece of artwork and it's like, where is it? Where's the next one going to show up?
You're getting very generous in that description.
Hopefully it's not supernatural.
Banksy to a stick and mulch in Fayetteville.
Yeah, true.
But I get where you're going.
Right.
The mysterious monolith phenomenon has made its way to New Mexico. One popped up in a Northeast Albuquerque parking lot. News 13's Brady Wakayama is live near the Pan American Freeway and Montano to show you. Brady.
People have been flocking to this parking lot behind REI all day to get a glimpse and even a selfie with the monolith.
It's 2020, why not?
Anything is possible, and I'm curious as to why these are popping up.
This is one of several steel monoliths that have been spotted around the world, with the first one popping up about 2 weeks ago in Utah and others spanning from California to Romania. The manager of REI says one of his employees saw 3 people placing the 10-foot monolith behind their store yesterday evening around 5:30. Unfortunately, they don't have any video or pictures, but the employee told the manager it took the group about 10 to 15 minutes to properly place it so it would be stable.
I think they're cool. I don't think it hurts anything. I think, it's 2020. We've had a tough year. We got a couple cool monoliths popping up around the desert. I don't think it's harming anybody. I think it's cool.
Another mysterious monolith has appeared, this time in our very own backyard in San Luis Obispo County. Fox 11's Karen Cruz-Rodriguez went to Atascadero to hear what hikers had to say after seeing it up close.
As we enter the last month of 2020, the year is throwing a new curveball. A mysterious monolith has appeared in Atascadero. It's unclear who or what brought it up. Hikers have been climbing roughly 2 miles up Pine Mountain all day to take a look. The large metal monument is at the pinnacle of Pine Mountain Loop at Stadium Park.
I passed this on the way up, so I didn't think much of it, so I just went back to my car. And I see dudes at the bottom, they were like, oh, did you see it? Did you see it? And I was like, I saw it, but I didn't know what it was.
The first metal monolith was discovered by a helicopter in a remote area in Utah. Hikers here at the Stadium Park are really surprised to see this mysterious metal monument, and it has since started trending on social media.
My son just showed me something on social media, so we decided to make the hike at the last minute just to come on up and take a look for myself. I'm pretty sure it wasn't here yesterday.
And let me go ahead and step right next to the metal monument. And as you can see here, it is pretty tall, and it is made out of metal welded together. And at this time, we do not know how it got here at San Luis Obispo County or how long it'll be here.
It disappeared from Utah and landed right here in Atascadero.
The sightings is drawing comparisons to the film 2001: A Space Odyssey, but experts have said that these objects being the work of aliens is unlikely. In Atascadero, Karen Cruz-Rodriguez, Fox 11 News.
Well, after some strange sightings of metallic monoliths across the globe, people in Fort Pierce now say that city, too, has its very own shiny slab of metal sticking out of the ground.
CBS 12 News Treasure Coast reporter Denise Sawyer spoke to one of the first people to find it.
How did somebody get this here without anybody noticing?
When you first see this tall piece of mystery up close, you're either going to laugh or shake your head in disbelief.
I got to work yesterday. I was unlocking all the doors.
When Chelsea Looper first spotted this Wednesday morning.
It's about 10 feet tall. It's some sort of metal. I guess we're calling it a monolith.
The monolith mystery that's been puzzling people around the world has landed in Fort Pierce. It's attracting people from all over. This woman begins to pray as she approaches.
I had to see this profound, whatever you call it. It's just very intense energy in a spiritual sense. I went up and touched it, and it gives off this sort of energy that's very mysterious yet invigorating. And you could tell it's real. Like, man couldn't have put that in there.
Everybody has their conspiracy theories.
The first monolith spotted in Utah, and then they started popping up all over the place in Romania, California, and now the Treasure Coast. The theories about their origin range from outer space to, get this, someone's garage.
I'd like to think it's aliens, but I also know that there's some tricksters out there, so who's to say?
Now, what we can say that is definitely a talker, and it's also a topic that is a welcome change during these very challenging times. In Fort Pierce, I'm Denise Sawyer for CBS 12 News.
We're going to be talking about that for a while, I have a feeling.
It's kind of freaky, so I have to go check it out. Our installation, aliens. People are not really sure why this monolith is here, only that they keep showing up in random places all over the world.
We just took a picture. But we're going to drive by there tomorrow again, and I want to see if it's still there, because people say that it just disappears.
Paula Kavaluk and her daughter Chloe sought out the tall, three-sided metal structure being called a monolith after Chloe saw one pop up in Pinawa last week. This one showed up at La Jimodier and Marion Street sometime over the weekend.
And she goes, hey, let's go see if it's still there. I said, no, I'm kind of scared to go. And she goes, let's just go see.
If you're new to the monolith phenomenon that has taken the world by storm, the first one appeared in mid-November in the Utah desert and then disappeared at the end of November. Shortly after, one showed up on a hill in Romania. Then they started to appear all over the world before disappearing just as fast. The one in Pinawa went up last weekend, but then was reportedly gone last Monday. That's why Crystal Lloyd just had to stop on her way home from work before this one disappeared.
The thought of aliens is always a great thought, but I mean, let's be real.
Aliens are only one theory going around as to who is behind these monoliths. Some think it's a tribute to Space Odyssey. Others think it may be a marketing stunt or a giant art installation.
The other one that popped up in Manitoba, there was one man claiming that they had done it just for a tourist attraction to kind of bring some happiness during COVID.
Whoever or whatever is behind the mysterious monoliths, it could be time to get that rare photo before it's gone.
It was kind of neat because I mean, just to know that it's there and it might not be there next time you know what I mean? If it's not there tomorrow when I go see, I'm going to be kind of freaked out.
I just thought it was really cool that this is kind of happening all over the world.
In Winnipeg, Marie Gomez, City News.
Someone's been busy erecting mysterious metal spikes and provoking intrigue around the world. What started in Utah has now been repeated in multiple places, including England and the Netherlands. And there are some wild theories about who put them there and why. Redmond Shannon on the mystery of the monoliths.
Another day, another monolith, this time on the small Isle of Wight in England.
It was crazy. I was like, oh my God, we've got one here. Why here? It's so out of the way compared to like America.
Peter Hudd was one of the first to come see it early Sunday.
Even with my own eyes, it looked like it had been edited in. It was so like surreal looking. It was like a tear in fabric and time. It was just like this portal. Like I said, it's at the bottom of a very stiff cliff, like a very steep drop. And the only way up and down, about having to climb, is this wooden staircase, and it's steep as well. It's on a hell of an incline.
It was the same day a similar object appeared in the Netherlands. They're reminiscent of alien-installed monoliths from Arthur C. Clarke's Space Odyssey series, and come after 3 others were discovered in recent weeks.
So is it solid? Not solid.
The first had been sitting in a remote Utah desert for about 5 years.
The safe word is run.
Just over a week later, it was mysteriously removed on the same day that this one appeared in Romania, followed by another in California.
Christ is king! Christ is king!
That was also torn down, only to be quickly reinstalled. There are conflicting claims as to who's behind them and what they all mean. This amateurish version, a cheeky hoax from a candy store owner.
So how about this? I wake up Thursday morning and there's a monolith that appears right in front of my shop here in the Strip District.
Jumping on board what is most likely a copycat trend and a welcome distraction from all things 2020. Redmond Shannon, Global News, London.
Okay, so I'm filming for my Survival Wild channel, and yeah, have you heard of these, like, these shiny monoliths that keep appearing? Well, that is something I wasn't expecting to come across. I'll even play. Okay. Well, that is, yeah, I wasn't expecting that. This, apparently we had one, what was it? Poplar Springs, top of Poplar Springs, but there's a viewing platform right at the top, High Point, and there was one of those disappeared like the day after. Like it appeared New Year's Day and then 2 days later it was gone. It's reappeared. Wow. Okay. Yeah. What more can you say? Okay, yeah. Alright, well. Can't say a lot, but there's one of these shiny monoliths. Out in the woods. I mean, there's going to be people that will recognise this place. I'm not going to say where, I'm just going to say it's Sheffield. Because these things have been disappearing. Whether they get nicked, scrap, or people are nicking and putting in the gardens or whatever, but I'm sure it's not going to be there for that long anyway. But there we go. Okay.
Utah, Romania, and now Washington Heights, New York City. Another unexplained monolith has shown up. I am Sharon Simon, here with Channel X, asking New Yorkers if they are instilled with fear at the discovery of this giant, unexplained monolith.
Actually, I really don't give a fuck one way or the other, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the obelisk, I've seen better obelisks. I mean, Banksy can come by and do a little drawing on it, that'd be cool. But
first of all, I didn't know what he was talking about. He said something about being a monolith. I thought he was coming out the closet. Because monolith, that sounds like, one of those things these kids nowadays identify as, hetero, mono, or bi.
And at this point, I don't give a fuck. I just found this one on the street.
But then he said something about a statue. So I went home and went into my closet, got my Black Lives Matter shirt and some spray paint in case I need to come here and paint a mural or tear something down, because we don't play that Confederate stuff in New York.
What are your thoughts on a monolith showing up in New York City?
Mono? I got a mono? I got Rona! I got the Corona!
And that maybe it's a sign of something better, and I hope so. Maybe this comes here and then tomorrow they blow up the Washington Bridge. That's at least something to talk about. I mean, this is nothing.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I was born and raised in Brooklyn. I've seen New York City up and down, and this is a sign that get out of this fucking city, because this is just the beginning of the fucking aliens gonna be eating the remaining citizens in this fucking town. This is a symbol of get the fuck out of Dodge. That's the way I see it.
Coronavirus, civil unrest, election fatigue, outdoor dining taking up parking spots, and now giant monolith in New York City causing fear in the hearts of local New Yorkers. I'm Sharon Simon with News Channel X. Back to you, Winona.
It's official. The monolith mystery has arrived in West Michigan. This unidentified standing object was installed just this morning on the corner of 36th and Broadmoor in Kentwood.
This is made of a dull metal. It's not as shiny as the others that have popped up elsewhere in the world. And they've been seen all over, starting in Utah, but then similar pillars popped up across the country and as far away as England and Romania.
Right now, there's few clues to how the Kentwood monolith ended up there, but we talked with a witness who pretty much dispelled that it is the work, it's not the work of aliens unless they're driving around in pickup trucks and bobcats.
I glanced over to my left and I saw a truck, like a blue utility truck. Pickup truck, no signs on it or nothing. I thought, okay, just thinking, just driving, commute to work, thinking, okay, it's just whatever, just a truck. And then the light turned green, and as I was driving, I was still looking at the truck because next to it there was a tractor, like one of those bobcat tractors that moves heavy objects. And on it, like leaning against it, was this silver pellet. And I know lately monoliths have been like crazed. And I thought, what? Like, is this really happening? Am I seeing one being posted up, like, right now? I kind of wanted to maybe talk to that guy, see, what's the story? Did he put it up? Did somebody pay him to put it up? Is it, like, a secret? But, it is what it is. It's just a mystery. It's just fun. Throughout this whole pandemic, it's just fun.
Do you kind of have some confirmation for us? This might not be aliens, then?
I guess in this case, in this particular situation, unless the alien was wearing a skin suit, I don't know, but I mean, yeah, no, it looks like just an average Joe, just an average truck, and they're just putting it up.
Well, Lansing now has its own monolith that showed up a few days ago. It's similar looking to the one in Kentwood. This one's located in the Old Town neighborhood. On this one, there are words at the base of the pillar that instruct people to go to a website and a social media page called Michigan Monolith. We checked, but they haven't talked about putting one up in Kentwood at this point.
Unlike the Michigan monoliths, the original monolith discovery that sparked the craze was found by chance in a remote Utah desert. So while the local ones are clearly made to attract attention, there is still an air of mystery surrounding that one. Also, the Utah monolith, as you can see, has a shiny chrome-like look. Deepening the mystery, the Utah desert monolith disappeared soon after it was found.
So what are the theories behind all of these? Well, the usual suspects, aliens or eccentric artists, but the rest appear to be simply jumping on the monolith bandwagon.
I guess so. I like what that guy said, though, that we talked to. He just was like, hey, this is kind of fun during COVID, you know, see where they pop up.
Yeah, until it turns into a marketing scheme for a department store.
Or something, yes, we'll find out.
Well, first it was Utah, then it was Romania, California, England, and now we can add the district, the list of monolith mania.
So how did it get there? That's the question. For all the details on what we know about the mysterious structure, Fox 5's Bob Barnard is live in Southeast. And Bob, I don't know if this homeowner should feel terrified or special.
Yeah, it's curious for sure. A lot of strange things happening here on Bill Anderson's front yard in Hillcrest, Southeast DC. Bill, we've got a little Christmas lights on us. Good morning. Thanks for putting up with us.
Thank you.
But show us this sucker that you say appeared on your front yard Sunday morning. It's another one of these monoliths. Tell us, and you'll see Bill's name. It's spelled with one L. You say it's the Scandinavian version.
That is correct, yeah.
So, Bill, tell us, what were you thinking and how did this appear?
So my family and I, we left on Sunday morning to go out to the bay for a little walk around and get some clean air and some exercise, and we came back about 12 o'clock. This was mounted in our front yard. The sun was up and it was gleaming off it. We pulled in and it was pretty spectacular.
Any idea how it got here? And again, between 8:30 and noon on Sunday morning, in the daylight, this thing shows up.
That's correct. And you know, here in Hillcrest, we have a pretty tight-knit community and people look out for one another and things like that. But on this, no one has any idea, or they're saying, Mom, as to how it got here. So I don't know if it's, we have a lot of talented and creative people here in Hillcrest, so maybe they're a little bored and looking for something to spice up their life a little bit, or it's aliens, who knows.
And we can show our viewers the beautiful twilight image of one of these monoliths in the Utah desert. They're in Romania, as the guys mentioned, and off, I think, the Isle of Wight off the coast of England. You have a security camera, I see, but you didn't capture this happening?
That's correct. Because of the traffic on Branch Avenue, our batteries run out quite frequently, so we have to replace them. Unfortunately, we didn't have a new battery in, so we didn't capture anything that happened here. But I don't know. We'll see how long it stays up. Maybe it'll come back and it'll be moved somewhere else. And but I put out, we have a group chat in the neighborhood, and I put out asking who did this, and a lot of, I have no idea, but pretty excited about it, and a lot of people coming by and taking selfies with it. So it's kind of a fun thing for the community. But.
And in the past, like the ones that have happened out west and what have you, they then disappear.
That's so right, yeah.
You're aware of this, right? Did you know about the monolith craze?
Yeah, I was aware of it before, but obviously didn't anticipate one popping up in my front yard here in Southeast. So.
Of all front yards, of all the gym joints and whatever, right?
Exactly.
Well, interesting. We'll see. Keep us posted whether it comes or goes, and we'll be here throughout the morning, see what kind of reaction we get. But Bill, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
It's you.
Yeah,
it's you.
Thank you. Enjoy your time in Hillcrest.
Thank you. The alien. Bob,
Bill,
back into you guys.
Is that thing solid, Bob?
Well, good point. It is wood. We think it's wood. And you see there's screws here, so it's well made, and it's fairly solid in the ground, so they dug a hole here. So it is. I mean, it's wood, not metal, flat top, and down, buried fairly, solidly in the ground here.
Interesting. All right. Keep an eye on the other mysteries going on out there, Bob.
You bet we will.
All right. Always something. 6:35. Have some good news from the National Zoo.
A new monolith has now turned up in Russia. Photographs have made their way on social media with people giving their opinions on how it got there. Interestingly, this one appeared on a mountaintop, and this has only caused theories to run wild as to how it got there. Interestingly though, this one was quickly explained, and this was because a company had put their logo on top of the structure. This follows what I said in one of my previous videos, and that was that companies will start to utilise the popularity of these structures. It's not surprising that companies have started to do this.
The mysterious monolith returns to southern Nevada. It was spotted out by the 7 Magic Mountains with a cryptic message. The 12-foot structure includes a couple of QR codes or cryptocurrency on the backside. Fox 5 reached out to the Nevada Museum of Art, who owns the Magic Mountains. They believe the monolith was installed overnight without permission. Fox 5 spoke to visitors about where they think it came from.
I honestly think it's alien technology, kind of. Like, I think they're like, aliens kind of like drop it off during the night, like out of nowhere, and it kind of just starts digging into the ground and like gathering information on the Earth's core and everything like that.
The museum is now working with Las Vegas papers to have it removed. Metro Police say they will not help in the removal. A mysterious discovery made north of the Las Vegas Valley. Metro Police posting this picture to X this morning of a monolith near Gas Peak. The department says its search and rescue team discovered the strange formation over the weekend. The formation is similar to one that popped up in the Utah desert during the pandemic, and even here outside Circa in 2020.
Nevada just had a monolith mysteriously suddenly appear in the desert outside Las Vegas, and this week, someone spotted one in Larimer County.
It looks pretty similar as well. Let's take a peek, Sky 9 overhead today. So there it is, about 2 miles north of Horsetooth Reservoir. Tall, rectangular, and very shiny. Like the one in Nevada, seems to be covered in mirrors. The one here in Colorado is on private property, so we left some messages with the owners and Larimer County officials trying to find out more. So far we haven't heard any more, but as soon as we do, we'll certainly share it with you.
A mysterious monolith that recently appeared in the mountains outside Las Vegas has now been removed. Police say it was taken down yesterday because of public safety and environmental concerns. No one seems to know who put up the mirrored column, which stood about 6'4", or why they did it. Dozens of mysterious monoliths have popped up around the world in recent years.
Police tweeted, quote, "We see a lot of weird things when people go hiking, like not being prepared for the weather, but apparently even police officers were surprised by this metal structure. If this story feels familiar, here's why. In 2020, during the pandemic, another mysterious monolith was discovered in Utah, and it looked pretty similar to this new one in Nevada. So is this the work of an artist, aliens, or random YouTube pranksters?"
I'm going aliens.
I don't feel like you'd take the wild card, Joe.
I think aliens too.
Well, what was the explanation for the last one? Do you remember? I don't.
Guys, it's giving art installation, I
There you
think,
go.
right?
Yeah.
But I also disagree. I'm sure they've seen stranger things on
That's
hiking
true.
trails
In
up there in Vegas. Come on.
It has to stay there, though, right?
That's
How about
true.
artists who are aliens? Let's go with that.
Middle ground. I like that. We can agree.
The mysterious monolith that has seemed to have reappeared over the weekend has led numerous people out here to try and catch a glimpse of this mystery.
We saw the post and I really wanted to come out and see it because we missed the one in Utah because they had it taken down so quickly, so I wasn't going to risk not getting to see it this time.
A shiny mystery has reappeared far from where it was first spotted on Fremont Street in December of 2020. Metro Police spotted this monolith from the air north of the valley near Gas Peak and posted about it on Monday. For the rest of us, you'll have to travel for miles along this bumpy road before you even get to the hiking trails.
No matter where you step, you just slide down. And it was 3.3 miles and 2,100 feet to the top. So it was a hike.
Which is where we met Alicia Wallace and James Davis out for their second attempt looking for the object.
We searched for hours last night, hiking all the way up to the top of Gas Peak, and did not have any luck finding it, so today we're out again.
This note left at the trailhead simply says the monolith is not on this trail, so they will be heading to the other side of the mountain.
We were pretty excited when we found out that it was going to be near a trail that we are familiar with.
Dean Marecki of Skyline Helicopter Tours spotted a similar looking monolith 3 years ago, shooting this video of it. At this point, not sure if it is the same one, but it's causing a stir in the area.
In Lilo and Stitch, aliens make their presence known with a spaceship. But what if in real life the announcement came in the form of an art installation? Yesterday, the Las Vegas Metro Police Department let folks on social media know about the appearance of a mysterious monolith on a trail north of the city. They wrote, "We see a lot of weird things when people go hiking," and asked, "How did it get up there?"
I've never seen this before. Always looks like a UFO from the ground.
As you may know, this comes just 2 months after a man discovered another Washington Monument-looking thing in Wales, and he said there were no footsteps around it at all.
What the heck is that?
And in 2020, many similar-looking structures were found across the world, starting with this beauty in the desert of Utah. It was spotted accidentally by wildlife officials while they were counting bighorn sheep from a helicopter.
Even going down there, they were nervous, like were they going to get teleported to another dimension or something? Upon closer inspection, this is definitely a human-made object.
But could humans have then, in the coming weeks, also dropped off more mystery shapes in Romania, England, California, and Montana? Just kidding, that's from the movie Arrival. But some reports say that year there were around 24 discovered in just a few short weeks.
I guess this is the thing now, right?
Thus, with so many popping up in 2020 and now a few more in 2024, it makes you wonder, A, do aliens just love an election year? Or B, are we all being pranked in an admirably communal worldwide effort? Well, for the internet, the latter just is not as fun. One commenter on the Las Vegas Facebook post writing, quote, "I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens." Now, the only monolith I'm 100% convinced was made by aliens is this one, guys, constructed from gingerbread. I've tried many times to make a gingerbread house, and I've never gotten to be 7 feet tall. What do you guys think?
Good point.
Well, Area 51.
I think they're all from aliens.
That's over there.
Yeah.
Aliens, declassifying UFO, aliens. See? Thank you, Andrew.
We have confirmed it right here on
Yeah,
Monoliths
welcome.
Now.
The truth isn't
It's
out
cool,
there, it's
though.
in there.
How did it get there, though? Huh.
There were no footsteps.
Mystery deepens. Danny will keep following it for us.
A photographer says he watched Utah's now famous monolith fall to the ground last weekend. The structure captured worldwide attention after being discovered in a remote area southwest of Moab. How it ended up there is still a mystery.
But tonight, we know how it vanished. Fox 13's Lauren Steinbrecher spoke to a photographer who shared what a group of people said as they hauled the monolith away in pieces.
Ross Bernards goes on adventures for a living.
I'm an adventure and outdoor lifestyle photographer. That's what I do for a living. So
my job depends on me finding unique and cool places.
The Colorado photographer and canyoneering expert often finds himself in some of the most remote spots in Utah. When a middle-of-nowhere place southwest of Moab found itself in the middle of an international monolith mystery last week.
I wanted to go out there and try light painting with my drone.
On Friday, Ross made the several-hour trek out. They ended up with the monolith all to themselves for about an hour for nighttime pictures, until some other visitors came walking up.
There's 4 of them. 2 of them stand back, 2 of them walk forward and walk up to the monolith and start pushing on it a little bit. And then one of them turns to my friends who are a little bit further up the canyon next to it, where I was a little further back, and said, hope you got your photos, and then just gave it a couple of big pushes, and it like just leaned over. And that's when the rest of them came up, and all 4 of them pushed it over to the one side and then pushed it back to the other side, and it just fell straight onto the ground.
Just like that, Ross watched the monolith that captivated and mystified people across the globe topple over.
Right after it had fallen over and made a loud thud, one of them said, this is why you don't leave trash in the desert. And as they were loading it up and walking away, they just said, leave no trace, and left.
Fast forward to the next morning, the message from the monolith demolishers on his mind, Ross would find he was hardly the only person who set out to see this strange metal sculpture in person.
It was just, you could see the road from the dust just coming up, and you could just see car after car coming and going. I mean, you probably saw 70 or 80 different cars there.
Cars and people everywhere, he says, hiking all over the place, even wandering up the wrong canyon, off trail miles up a high clearance 4x4 road.
It made me understand exactly why these people did it. I mean, one of the reasons that we didn't stop them was we all agreed with them.
For someone who says he practices leave no trace, an expert only in expert terrain, he's glad it came down. And for anyone who is buying into the conspiracy theories about how and why the mystery metal monument disappeared, let's set the record straight.
Aliens were not involved in any way, shape, or form in this thing. They had nothing to do with it. Nor was it some secret government project. None of that had anything to do with it. It was clearly an art piece by someone.
An art piece with a wild whirlwind week, now part of the desert's past.
Leave the art to places where art should be and let Mother Nature have her space for art.
Lauren Steinbrecher, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Well, the monolith isn't the only one making headlines tonight. Overseas in Romania, another mysterious monolith has been found. TMZ reporting it was found on a hill near the Romanian city of Piatra Neamț. Daily Mail also reports it's a few meters from a well-known fortress landmark. Unlike the one found in Utah, we're told the monolith in Romania appears to be made of several pieces and has wavy markings on the side.
मैं यहाँ पर सामने जॉब करता हूँ कंपनी में, पर ये 15 दिन पहले मैंने नेट पर पढ़ा हुआ था कैसे पत्थर निकल रहा है जो एलियन लगा रहे हैं, और इधर भी सडनली पता चला कि निकला हुआ है, तो हम लोग देखने आए हैं। बाकी पता नहीं ये ओरिजिनल है कि डुप्लीकेट, उसके बारे में हमको कुछ पता नहीं है, जो कि ये इधर से पता चला कि किसी को भी नहीं पता कि ये कहाँ से आया है। क्योंकि इधर जो काम करते हैं उनको भी नहीं पता कि ये था कि नहीं था।
कल एक्चुअली मैं जब ड्राइव कर रहा था तो काफ़ी रेडियो में सुन रहा था मैं इसके बारे में कि देयर इज़ अ मोनोलिथ विच जो कि बहुत सारी कंट्रीज में पाया गया था। अहमदाबाद एशिया में फर्स्ट और इनफैक्ट अहमदाबाद में है। तो आई वाज वेरी क्यूरियस बट देन आई गॉट टू नो कि कॉर्पोरेशन ही लगाया है। तो मैं जस्ट मॉर्निंग में साइकिलिंग पे था तो मैं सोचा जस्ट गो एंड हैव अ लुक एट इट। सो इट वाज अ नाइस साइट, अच्छा था, देखा, लोग भी देखने आ रहे थे। इट वाज अ नाइस प्लेजेंट व्यू यार, टू बी ऑनेस्ट।
लास्ट डे हमको न्यूज़ मिले ऑन मीडिया दैट समथिंग मोनोलिथ काइंड ऑफ स्टोन हैज बीन इम्प्लीमेंट हियर बिकॉज ये एलियन के द्वारा रखा जा रहा है, ऐसा कुछ बताया था। सो हमको एक उत्सुकता थी ये देखने के लिए। सो हम सुबह सुबह इधर आके देखा।
समवेयर आई थॉट कि ओरिजिनल है कि नहीं, क्यूरियोसिटी तो थी बट पहले से थोड़ा पता था, न्यूज़ में आ गया था कि कॉर्पोरेशन वालों ने ही लगाया है, समथिंग प्रॉब्ली एज अ पब्लिसिटी। तो मैं आया यहाँ पे देखा, देयर वर पीपल, फिर कुछ नंबर्स भी लिखे थे जो पता चला कि ये जो नेशनल पार्क और जो फॉरेस्ट स्मॉल पीस है उसके कोऑर्डिनेट्स है। तो इट वाज अ नाइस एक्ट या जो भी था उन्होंने किया, इट वाज अ नाइस व्यू। बस इन लॉकडाउन आई थिंक कुछ नई नई चीज़ें पता चलती है तो इट इज़ गुड फॉर एवरीवन। सो यस।
Our planet's southernmost continent is the most uninhabited land on the face of the Earth. It's not without trying and efforts made by researchers and explorers that this land seems to be shrouded in mystery, more rather due to this area being located directly on top of the South Pole, and because of this fact it appears to be amongst the most harshest places in the world to visit. However, new and upcoming evidence appears to have challenged this notion of inhabitation, as relics of an ancient civilization appear to have surfaced. One of the most recent discoveries to capture people's attention is what appears to be a large monolith sticking out of the snow. When the images first started to be shared online, many were skeptical, saying that it looks like the images are fake. However, screenshots were provided that included the coordinates, and it does in fact show a mysterious structure sticking out of the ground. The monolith was found close to the Debenham Islands, a location which can be found on the west side of the Antarctic Peninsula. The images immediately got shared to various online groups, with people giving their opinions on what they thought the object was. Many people were confused about how a large structure like this could appear in such a remote location, saying that with most of these other monoliths they were found in places that had easy access, but this one has been found in one of the most remote places on the planet. This person said the following: "So how do you explain this monolith turning up in Antarctica? I can understand how people were saying that some of the others were placed in certain regions by artists, but an artist isn't going to travel all the way to Antarctica and place it there. This is probably the most mysterious monolith that's been discovered." End quote. Others noted that when you zoom in on the structure you aren't able to view the bottom of it, as a blurred line boxes out. This has only caused out there theories to be put forward for why this has happened. Amateur researchers also said the structure doesn't look similar to the others that have turned up, saying this one looks a lot older than the others that have been found. Researchers that belong to ancient groups that look into strange artifacts found in and around Antarctica have said that this one looks ancient and doesn't have the shine that the others had. As with most of these discoveries, it's hard to track down evidence of who first discovered it and what's going to happen to it. But ancient theorists have said it's likely we won't hear about this structure again, with one person saying the following: "Whenever these types of discoveries are made, they usually disappear from the spotlight pretty soon. I'm not saying it's alien or anything like that, but it's certainly interesting. I would love to see close-up images of this thing, and also a close-up of its base. I'm not sure why there's a blurred line running across it. This doesn't help us come up with an answer for what this thing is. All it does is make people put forward more out there theories for why it's here. It's a cool discovery, but the sad truth is that it's very unlikely we'll get an answer for what this thing is." End quote. Could this discovery be proof that going back many years ago a much more powerful advanced civilization with the means of producing such megalithic structures could have inhabited the region long before humans discovered its existence in the first place? An interesting fact to take into consideration is the history of this region. What many people do not know is that Antarctica was once a lush green and dense forest, with a population to match long before it became the wasteland it's most notably known as today. Evidence of this can be found when looking at a team of archaeologists and researchers that led an expedition in Antarctica on November of 2016 that lasted for several months ending on January of 2017. The team found incredible evidence of lush forests in the region after locating and identifying a large amount of fossil fragments. This was from ancient trees that dated as far back as 260 million years. Interestingly, this timeline correlates with one very important event in the past, the Permian period, also known as the greatest mass extinction event in the history of the world. It's interesting then to consider this idea that roughly 260 million years ago, the continent of Antarctica would have been a densely populated lush green forest, with a tremendous variation in wildlife and ecosystems. A professor at the University of Wisconsin known as Dr. Gobranson argues that the continent as a whole would have been much warmer, and even more humid than many areas today. In fact, he has overwhelming evidence that the area would have been closer in resemblance to the forest of present-day Siberia, a place today with a thriving population, vast resources and a stable economy. Researchers have said that if any relics are found, then it is without doubt evidence of a past advanced civilization. However, they have said that these structures wouldn't have been created by modern humans, but rather an advanced race yet to be discovered, and that could be buried underneath the ice, waiting to be discovered. Amateur researchers have also said that if you spend long enough looking around the deep crevices in Antarctica, you will likely find evidence of what appears to be unidentified flying objects. Now it's important to note that scientists and researchers have said that what people are seeing is just ice, but in some cases pareidolia. And those who have spent countless hours looking into these reports have said this isn't what's being seen. Taking a look at these strange structures, these researchers have said it's very obvious that they hold many characteristics with sightings of commonly reported unidentified flying objects. So what do you make of this recent discovery that's just been made in Antarctica? Do you think it shows a monolith? If not, what do you think this large structure is? Also, do you think that Antarctica could have been home to an ancient civilization millions of years ago? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.
Subscribe to our channel, press the bell icon and never miss an update from latest.
gross expenditures, again, for human habitation on the moon. We can help. We can join with. Together, we can explore the moon and develop the moon. We should go boldly where man has not gone before. Fly by the comets, visit asteroids, visit the moon of Mars. There's a monolith there, a very unusual structure on this little potato-shaped object that goes around Mars once in 7 hours. When people find out about that, they're going to say, who put that there? Who put that there? Well, the universe put it there. If you choose, God put it there.
I'm Mr. Obsidian. Prepare yourself for the Man of Black.